person. You can't just look at it. You can't try to focus on the run game. You can't just jam one receiver and play too high and just screw with Aaron Rodgers and try to make him play schoolyard ball and all this stuff. And defensively, you're saying, well, you're taking Daniels away. Again, it goes back to what they've done in the draft and free agency, where
Yeah.
he doesn't fit what they're what you're seeing the rest of the
You have the
defensive
depth of
linemen.
rotationals, too.
Right.
With Lancaster, and you freaking got Travius Adams, Lowry. I mean, Lowry to me has shown more athleticism than Daniels, and especially the burst through the line. How many times did we see Lowry in the backfield last year pushing plays to the other side when the other side couldn't close the deal? Like, Lowry was there, and he just couldn't. He couldn't have the help on the other side getting the edge set because Perry and Fackrell couldn't hold the edge. I understand Fackrell had sacks. I got that. But he wasn't.
6 of those sacks came in 2 games. Can we stop with the Fackrell stuff? Literally, he had 2. No, not you. Again, not Dave. I'm talking Packer Nation. Cairo Fackrell had 2 games. He had 2 out of 3 games in a 3-game stretch where he had 3 sacks.
Half his sacks.
So half of his sacks were generated against basically 2 tackles that I think were 3rd or 4th string. And so, I mean, let's just stop with the. I'm glad, because what it proved to me, all it did to prove to me was that Mike Pettin is a freaking genius and can make lemonade out of dog crap. All right, that's what that proved to me. Not that Kyler Fackrell is a pass rushing extraordinaire.
But Jay, that's why I bring up that example. They didn't.
Oh, I know. I was talking to Packer Nation.
When he came through, you had the edge guys on the other side that couldn't close the deal. Imagine Lowry bursting through on the interior line now and getting through, and you got guys like Zadarius and Preston Smith on the outsides crashing in. Man, there's nowhere for anyone to go. And then you got Clark in the middle playing next to him. Come on. And you got Blake watching behind them coming through on the open hole. I'm telling you, this front 7 is going to be friggin' nasty. And that's why I agree, Daniels, if there's an opportunity to grab someone like A.J. Green and throw a second or third, I'm completely fine with that. I will do it all day long because of the fact, the Bengals also need a little help on the defensive line.
That's what I'm saying. It's another one where,
and Daniels can play DN too.
Right, he's a versatile guy and they run a 4-3, so he can rush the passer in, because he was doing it as an interior defensive lineman. He does have pass rushing skills, guys. It's just that at 30 years old, coming off the injuries, and with all the versatility and the signings and the drafting stuff, like my partner Dave has just explained, he's just kind of expendable at this point. Not that they couldn't use him.
Pettin wants these athletic guys.
Again, he doesn't seem to fit the thread of the commonality that we seem to be finding in the player acquisitions that they've come up with since Goody has been. And we go 3 years back because we count the year before he took over, because he was essentially he was one of 3 guys that were kind of being groomed. It was him, Elliott Wolf, and Russ Ball. That last year of Ted Thompson were all brought in and kind of given equal responsibility to kind of prove themselves because they knew Ted was going out. Okay, so we're going to count that year too as part of this, because what we've dug up fits. I guess that's best I can tell you.
Too, Mike Daniels trading him opens up 6.05 in cap in millions. 6.05 million in cap. That opens up, and then you add on that. There's $15 million. There's AJ Green's money.
Oh, I was gonna say right there. So what would that do with AJ Green's contract coming in? I thought that's what it was. I mean, I just kind of gave it a quick glance, but I thought that it would cancel each other out without costing us any extra money.
I'm already on over the cap. I was waiting for it. Oh God! All right, Jay. I gotta say, there's been something bugging you all today. It's having your phone in your back pocket vibrating while you're at work and going through, and
I made a comment on a tweet, okay, and so I tweeted
one
something
comment,
out.
Jay. What did you do?
Well, it wasn't necessarily one comment, but it was one tweet, and it's the truth, okay. I understand that it's 2019, people. I understand it. And I understand that everything through time changes. But certain things, just because they change, doesn't mean they've changed for the better. Doesn't mean that the change they've changed into makes more sense or is right. Okay? And the two things that I'm going to discuss, because it's been brought up, are bothering me and still bother me, and why I'm getting brought back into this damn conversation I don't want to have anymore. MVP, most valuable player, and the greatest of all time, or i.e., GOAT, have been bastardized. The meanings and the
They get
qualifications
thrown
it
out
takes
a
for those
lot.
two have been bastardized over the last 10 years to the point where they are not even what they mean anymore. The words and the acronyms are now thrown out there hollowly without any meaning to back them up, the way the American dollar is hollow without the gold standard backing it, people. Truthfully. MVP means most valuable player. Most valuable player means if I take that player off of that team essentially falls apart. It is turned into the team with the best record, and the guy on which team has the best record puts up the best stats. That is the most outstanding player, a completely different award. It is not meaning that player necessarily is the most valuable to their team. In retrospect, honestly, most years when the MVP came out, it came to a player that was usually on a team that was terrible and might have that player still had
Yeah.
good games or good stats. Because when you looked at their value, if you took that quarterback or that running back off of that football team, they wouldn't have won the 4 games they won. Okay? And that's really the meaning of most valuable player, not what we've turned it into. Going to the GOAT
You know what? Perfect
conversation.
example. Peyton, to me, the year he sat out and the Colts went 2-14, he should have
Could have
been
won
the MVP
MVP.
that year.
Yep.
Because with him, they would have won 9 or 10 more games, made the playoffs again. And who knows what could have happened, but still, that's the thing. You take him out, you literally take the Colts season away. Just like you take Rodgers away, you take the Packers season away.
Right.
Literally, like if you take Rodgers away, we would be a 1-15 team last year. No doubt.
Okay.
I will say it with full confidence, we would go 1-15, and the only team we would have beat is like the friggin' Jets at the end of the year or something. I'm sorry, but
And maybe
we
not
just.
even them.
Oh,
But
maybe we go. I'm just bringing up an example. Like we got.
right. The bigger one though,
You
Dave,
saw
that
what we looked like with
right.
Kaiser leading in week
I saw
17. We got
the
thrashed by the Lions.
but Dave, the bigger one that pisses me off more and the one that's pulling me back in more is the GOAT conversation, because the GOAT conversation is always now Brady versus Rodgers. And you Bostonians out there and Brady nut hangers out there, I'm just tired of it, guys. Because the media started this, and this all goes back to 2001, 9/11, guys. And the team name, the team colors, and where they are in the country perfectly fit a narrative that would sell. And the fact that they started to win and they did it by cheating only helped it. And the reason why we don't care that they cheated was because then it would change the good fuzzy feelings that people have about the Patriots winning when that terrible tragedy that happened on American soil for the first time in our history of being a country. Okay? That's the damn truth. That's really the damn truth. You can call it conspiracy theory, but it's the freaking truth, okay? Because nobody gave a damn about the damn Patriots their whole entire existence before 2001, September 11th. That's the truth, guys. Nobody gave a shit had red, white, and blue. Nobody gave a shit that they were called the Patriots, based off of this country and you're a patriot. Nobody cared. Nobody associated the Patriots with America. But now they do. And they have since then. And now they say, and because they win, Americans want to be part of winners. And so all of a sudden, Patriots fans became Patriots fans across an entire region, and they weren't just outside of Boston, they were the New England Patriots, and a whole freaking section of the country all of a sudden became football fans that have no idea what the hell they're talking about. And then they started to change and drive this narrative change because of the GOAT and what the GOAT means. And it means greatest of all time. And there's a skill set and a set of tools that are both physical and mental and intangible attributes that make up greatest of all time. And if you're missing a bunch of these, despite of what your winning percentage is, in a game that has 63 guys on a roster, 48 of which every week have to be on one damn page and better not make too many mistakes or you're not winning a game. I.e., the fifth Super Bowl Tom Brady won when everybody wants to give him credit for making a 28-point comeback when a defense gave up 0 points for 30 minutes of football. 0. Do you understand how you come back from 28 points to win a game with what? Well, you can't give up any points. Well, Tom Brady, does he play defense? No. So, again, you can give Tom all the credit you want.
For the Super Bowl.
Right, but we have bastardized it. Tom doesn't, and I've seen this thread that's on it, and it's Nick on there. Nick, I can't even pronounce his last name. I'll probably say it wrong. But
Markakis? Like no, not Markakis. That's a baseball player.
No, it's like Gianamanikia or something like that. I have no idea. I said it terrible. I'm sorry, Nick. But he was
on there.
He's a Packer fan.
Carter.
Yeah, and no, that's Nick Wright. This is a kid. He's a Packer fan, but he's the one on there, and he's talking about Rodgers on my feed. He's defending Rodgers, and he even said something that was completely wrong. That Brady has better pocket presence than Rodgers, but Rodgers has no. Have you ever seen like the New York playoff game where Rodgers literally out Brady in a phone booth and then threw a touchdown pass across his body 22 yards and the other opposite end in between 3 defenders with somebody pulling back on his jersey and never left the pocket but avoided 6 sacks? Brady can't do that, guys. Brady has to have everything perfect in the pocket, or he does just like Peyton Manning does. They fold like dirty laundry and go to the next play. If there's anybody around his feet, he does not manipulate the pocket as good as you do. He does not. And then they said, well, they have comparable arm strength. No, they don't. They don't even throw this. He doesn't even throw as tight of a spiral. There's 3 guys that make the GOAT list, really. It's Elway, it's Marino, and it's Rodgers. Those 3 guys are the top. They check almost every damn box except for maybe some of the small intangibles because they all kind of have a common thing where they're kind of jackasses and a little thin-skinned and rub a lot of people the wrong way. But at the end of the day, they have all these physical tools that guys like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and Eli Manning and, Drew Brees and all these other quarterbacks that we want to put on their level are never going to have, and they're never going to hope to have. And so they're not even in the conversation the way it's supposed to be had, okay? Because they can't check enough boxes. What they do is they make up for it by being on really good teams and doing their job for the most part. But they get a lot of help. It ain't all them. And when you look at guys like Elway and Marino and Rodgers, you're looking at guys that through their talent took teams that if you took them off, wouldn't even sniff playoffs their entire existence. And that's the real difference here. And that's why we have to stop this continued bastardization because we want to swing off Tom Brady's nuts because him and Bill Belichick and the Patriots organization have figured out the puzzle to the modern era of football and free agency and the draft to stay competitive and do it every year. Okay? I've just had enough. And I don't even like this conversation anymore because it's just nitpicking, but it's ridiculous. Like, it's enough. It's Tom Brady is not and will never be the GOAT. And I'm going to say it right now, and it's the damn truth, people. Tom Brady in 20 years will not be looked at from fans of the NFL, past, future, or present, in 20 years the way he's looked at now. He will be looked at just the way that Bart Starr is. He will be looked at as a guy that has a lot of rings on teams that are full of awesome players. And you're going to say, well, they're not in the Hall of Fame now. We don't know who's going to be in the Hall of Fame because when all these guys get said and done and they start tallying up rings and people die off and we have people voting that never actually watch these games, they're going to go off of statistics and they're going to go off of rings. And that's going to put an awful lot of freaking Patriots in the Hall of Fame in 20, 30, 40, 50 years. That's the truth, guys. 7 seconds left. Thanks for listening to the show. Go Pack Go.
Ooh.